Are you ready? You think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break it down!
Yeah, we're going to break it down, all right. Yeah, you know it today. We're going to break this down. Oh, yeah, it's the Steeler victory 20-10 over the Los Angeles Chargers, who I actually call them the Los Angeles Chargers because everybody I'm affiliated with continues to call them the San Diego Chargers. I guess it's just what rolls off the tongue, right, Steve?
Yes, but they were originally the Los Angeles Chargers. If you go back in history, they were the original Los Angeles Chargers before they played in San Diego and Balboa Stadium.
Oh, absolutely. All right, today's post-game show is brought to you in part by Bond Journey. Bond Journey, go see them October 12th, 8 p.m. Opening up for them is Kevin Belonzi at Kindrew's Lounge in Aliquippa, right on Broadhead Road. 3590 Broadhead Road is where this is at. Kendrew's Lounge for October 12th to see Bon Journey, the original Bon Jovi Journey tribute band, and they are the best. I've been to many of their shows, and they're a friend of the show here and a sponsor as well, Bon Journey. Go out and check them out as they sponsor today's post-game show. Also, we're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios. You ought to call Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-2010-500 Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Give them a call today if you need to get any kind of air conditioning work done. As you know, today's the first day of fall, Steve. So let's give that a little round of applause there, So, all right. But anyway, Steve, your thoughts on today's game? Steelers win 20-10, dominated the second half. I think the LA Chargers beat themselves. Too many penalties, injuries, and everything else. Your thoughts on this game?
Well, this is kind of like what we're seeing around the NFL, a bad rerun of a once successful show, and that's football in the 70s. With that said, I love the second half for the Steelers. Now, I'm not going to jump backflips and say we're going to the Super Bowl, but it was nice to see Justin Fields, 245 yards passing. He completed a big pass to Calvin Austin. That's how you got to win now. 346 total yards to 168. You pounded the crap out of them at the end of the game. Listen, I know there are people that are going to go, well, this stinks and that stinks. Okay, it may not be flowery. They're 3-0 in the Steelers out of the 70s version football teams that we're seeing today, or that brand of football is playing the best. This is the formula. Fields, hey, whether he plays next week or not, the one thing we now know, give the man a chance to make some plays. He's not Dan Marino. No one's asking him to be Dan Marino. They're asking him just to make some plays when you have to. They did against a pretty darn good defense in the Chargers, and you're right. A couple of dumb penalties by the Chargers did not help their cause today at all.
No, they did not. The whole second half, the Steelers dominated. And not only did they dominate, but the LA Chargers helped the situation where I'm going to say this, as I always say, Steve, it's better to be lucky than good, because the Steelers were actually lucky today that the LA Chargers did not have Herbert for the whole game, and also was a penalty-free game more or less from the Steelers. They had one stupid penalty where Keanu Benton, somehow or another was involved in a delay of game. I've never heard of a defensive delay of game. Gene Sarator, who is the former referee who now analyzes all this stuff for CBS, he was on, and he talked about why that was called a delay of game. Supposedly, Benton delayed in getting into his stance or something after or something like that, to that effect. I don't know how that works. I've never seen anything like that in my life. That was a dumb call to begin with. But anyhow, LA Chargers they beat themselves today. And fortunately for the Steelers, they were able to open up the offense a little bit more today. And it was great to see Calvin Austin get a catch for a touchdown. It was nice to see Pickens get a few catches in the second half. They really opened up the playbook. I was very pleased with that, despite the fact they couldn't run the football that often. Second half, though, they took control of everything. And I got to give credit where it's due. McCormick, our draft pick, the lineman from North Dakota State that I said the Steelers should pick, and they did. Guess what? He ended up having a great game today. He had to step in for Spencer Anderson. Your thoughts?
It makes a big difference to have a really good center on top of it, doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
Frazier's been great. We just lost Ralph. Are you there, Ralph? Well, it is help to have. We'll wait for Ralph to come back if we're still on the air. Herbert didn't have a great game. It did help that he was injured, but the Steelers did a pretty good job defensively. Are you back? We lost you.
Yeah, I had a little something in my throat.
Oh, I'm glad you're okay. My God. Overall, though, I thought, I'll tell you what. What I also like, and what I've seen now, and I love the fact that it happened this game. They pounded Los Angeles into the ground, and yeah, they started off slow rushing the ball, but in the end, they just pounded and pounded. And this is the formula. Like I said, everybody's going to look at, we've got to beat Patrick Mahomes. Listen, I like to beat Patrick Mahomes too. You play with your strength. This is it. Whether people like it or not, it's 3-0. And let me tell you something, that Baltimore-Dallas game becomes a very big game early on in the season for both teams, for that matter, Ralph.
Oh, yeah, and also, too, don't forget, Cincy plays tomorrow night against the Washington Commanders. And I got to tell you what, don't sell the Commanders short. Dan Quinn's team over there, he also has Cliff Kingsbury as his offensive coordinator. So don't sell the Commanders out. They have a pretty decent coaching staff down there at Washington. And I bet the Dallas Cowboys wish they still had Dan Quinn as their defensive coordinator, because they have Mike Zimmer from the old Minnesota coach, and their defense stinks this year under Mike Zimmer. So we're going to find out what they're going to do against the Ravens here, which I believe is coming up. It's nothing so far in the first, just started. 49ers 7, Rams nothing, that just started. Also, we have Lions 7, Cardinals nothing, that just started. Seahawks 10, take a quick 10-0 lead over the Dolphins with 3 minutes left in the first. And the Panthers, the Carolina Panthers 7, the Las Vegas Raiders 0. At the coming up on the end of the first quarter.
Well, once in a while, you can find a needle in a haystack, okay?
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely. Maybe this is the game Carolina wins, and this is the game that Antonio Pierce, the coach at the Raiders, lays an egg on. So we're going to find out what happens with this game. But so far, 7-0. All right, let's see. Tomorrow night, 7:30. Bills and Jaguars. That's going to be an interesting game. And then, as we mentioned, Commanders versus the Bengals. Now it's 7-7 in the Carolina game. 7-7. So,
and what did you think about some of the blowouts? Surprisingly, that the Texans took it on the chin. These things happen. I was just surprised. I'm not panicked. I mean, Lord knows you're going to take it on the chin. Again, these wins by the Steelers are so important. And this is another conference win. They've won 2 games on the road to start the season. They got to bank these wins, because that schedule, now, depending on injuries, and again, I tell people, anything can happen in the next few weeks. We all know that, but you bank these wins early. Boy, it'd be nice if everybody was, the Ravens and Bengals be 3 games behind the Steelers. That would be a real good start. Although I have faith in Burrow. Burrow's the type of guy, he can reel off 8 in a row at any time. He's that type of quarterback.
Well, injuries for the Steelers. Spencer Anderson had a stinger. He came back into the game, which was great, because I saw Spencer Anderson and McCormick on the field at the same time in that Bulldog line, that they were able to run the football in the second half. Van Jefferson, eye injury. Corey Trice, hamstring. Oh, this kid, man, I feel bad for Corey Trice. He just continues to get hurt. He's been, he was a injury case. That's why he didn't get drafted till the 7th round. Great athlete, though. It's just too bad that he, is where it's at. All right, now for the Chargers, Justin Herbert ankle, Joe Ott, their #1 draft pick, limited
Yes.
because of and then also Slater was hurt, and then the AFC North, we gave you the Cleveland 21 loses 21-15 to the New York Giants, who stink. But you know what? They came into Cleveland and they upsetted the Cleveland Browns. And I'll tell you another upset today too. Tampa Bay got beat by Denver.
Wow.
28-7. So
In Tampa.
yes, that was in Tampa. And let me say this: I have some friends down there. I'm on some shows in Tampa. So I believe me, on Wednesday night, I'm going to be, egging it on about how Tampa blew it against Denver. I can't believe Denver went in there and won 26-7. So, but anyway, Bill Carr once said this, Steve. This is the National Football League and anything can happen. What a sloppy game this was. Eagles 15, Saints 12 in New Orleans. Derek Carr got shut down today. So your thoughts on these games?
I think the league's going to be inconsistent. You're going to see what New Orleans did the first couple of weeks, and you're going to see them hit a wall. We have to factor in there. This is the preseason. When you really think about it, for the exception of a few teams, these guys are still working it out because they didn't play much in the preseason. Now, you'd think by week 4, you're going to see a little more crisper game. I don't mind rock'em, sock'em, smash mouth football. I just want to see the quality of it. I want to see a quality version of it, not a bad rerun. But when you look around the league, more than ever, I know it's any given Sunday, but really, you just don't know at any time. Even if you're on the road, look what happened down in Tampa. You figure if Tampa loses, it would be a competitive game. That game wasn't competitive at all. I expect New Orleans to have won that game, be ready for that game against Philadelphia. And Philadelphia is a Super Bowl contender. Give Philadelphia credit, good football team, and their defense isn't too shabby either.
I've been saying this many times, Steve. They got some good coordinators.
They do.
Is their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator is Vic Fangio. I tell people all the time, don't sell out Philadelphia. They got Nick Sirianni went on, got some really good coordinators this year after the 2 he had last year that bombed out. And he's going to lose his job if they don't go to the Super Bowl. That's already been said by Jeffrey Lurie, the owner, which I find very appalling, but that's beside the point,
Yeah, I mean, their standard's pretty darn good. Granted, your goal is to win the Super Bowl.
Started not winning the seconds.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Don't want to win a Super Bowl. If he wants to win a Super Bowl, why is Mike Tomlin still the coach? I've been saying this many times, mediocrity with this guy. And, we haven't been to a Super Bowl in a while. Haven't even won a playoff game. And this guy's nothing but mediocrity. We got 3 more years of him. But guess what? I think this is his last contract. I believe that to be the case.
I believe that. I think his assistants, I don't know if they're a little bit better. You said something about assistants. Assistant coaches are important. You just don't hire a guy. I mean, I know back, again, when we were growing up, there weren't as many. I mean, you saw a small coaching staff. Now it's everything. They have a special coach for tying your shoe. But you've got to have guys that know what they're doing, and you have to have a coach that understands how to delegate that authority. But the assistants do matter. You cannot have bad assistants. I don't care how good you are.
And let them do their job. You know what I
mean? Look at Belichick.
To hiring these yes men. But finally this year he got Arthur Smith in here as an offensive coordinator. Went on and got a quality quarterbacks coach to work along Mike Sullivan to help out the quarterback situation. That's why Justin Fields is better this year than he was with the Bears. He has good tutelage at quarterbacking at the quarterback coaches coaching staff there. He went out and got a good wide receivers coach, got rid of a couple bum coaches. Mike Tomlin learned his lesson over the last 4 or 5 years with these yes men. He got rid of them all. Matt Canada, the rest of them, all yes men. And, out the door they go. And, I'm glad that Arthur Smith is here. At least he has more knowledge of the NFL and more knowledge of, the running, pounding the football back to the old Steeler Chuck Noll days of running and pounding the football. Pass when you have to. And they passed when they had to today, Steve.
Well,
they
it's a
had.
quality. It's a quality.
Yes.
Get down the field. Get down the Ben. Listen, with the 05 season, look at Ben's numbers. Some of the games where he was 10 for 12, 240 yards.
40
He
yards,
knew when
yes.
to throw the ball down. It's the quality of the pass, man. It's not the 3-yard pass. And Fields can get the ball down the field. Now, again, here's a dilemma. Here's an interesting dilemma, Ralph. Russell Wilson, if he's still hurt, I don't know what they're going to do with him. Now, listen, anything can happen this season. But you know what?
We only got $1 million
let the leg get better.
Anyway.
Let the leg get better. This gives him more time. So if he has to come in, that calf is going to be ready. Two quarterbacks are important, and what Fields is doing, and plus hey, you should see what they're saying on the Chicago pages about Caleb Williams. They're going, did you see Fields' numbers? And I go, hey, you're looking at it. And
in Chicago, they're beating up the fact that, Fields came here, and I think Matt Everfluss, I call him Matt Everfart because he stinks as a head coach. Should have been fired last year, but I think they're giving him one more year, this ownership with Chicago. You know what I mean? And Chicago's been bad for a long time. How about New England getting beat up on Thursday night against the Jets? Aaron Rodgers.
Did you see that? Did you see that touchdown pass near the end zone? Rodgers threw 99.9% could not make that. He put that. Oh, I almost went, man, has he got confidence in that arm? I mean, I would too. And people can say whatever you want. The guy can still throw the ball. He knows where he's doing on the field. It looks like he knows. It seems like the arm's in good shape. He's in good shape. Jets are going to be interesting to watch. The Jet Buffalo game's going to be real nice to see. It's a good rivalry game. And it's another player. It's another playoff position.
Yes. Yeah, division gamer, Steve. Exactly. All right, guys, or everyone here today, we're brought to you in part by our studio sponsor, which is Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. You ought to call Mata. Call them today, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500. All right, let's get into some of our sponsors here, Steve. I got to pay a couple bills here. Keystone Coach Works, call them today. Look, I needed a handicap accessible van. I went to Keystone Coach Works on Library Road in Bethel Park. Go there. When you get there, call, ask for Dawn. Tell Dawn Ralph Williams sent you. 412-833-1900. Keystone Coach Works. I'll tell you what, the best. I gotta have myself a Chrysler Pacifica. It has low mileage on it. You can even rent a van. Let's say you want to go to a concert at Star Lake or something. You want to go to a special event, or you want to go on a trip, and you want to rent a van. You can rent one from there too. Check for details. Call Dawn today. 412-833-1900. Keystone Coach Works. All right. Also, the original Hometown Pizza, Moon Township, right on University Boulevard. 412-264-4444. The original Hometown Pizza. Delivery, takeout, or eat in. Call them today. Tell them Ralph Williams sent you. You'll get a discount on your order. All right. Digital Data, who did my website, www.rwmediaproductions.com. Call them today. You need a website design. Great. You give them a low down payment, and then you make low monthly payments. I just gave them some material, told them to upload it. It's done. They play no games. Digital Data. Call them today. 1-877-296-9604. Call them today. All right. Farmers Insurance with Robin Campbell. 412-366-3399. Call Robin Campbell today. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. I've been a customer of Robin Campbell's for over 13 years. And listen to what I'm telling you. I had an insurance policy with his other company that he does, Bristol West. They wanted to charge me more money because I got a van, a wheelchair accessible van. Robin called me and said, hey, Ralph, I got a deal for you from Farmers. Save me $200. $200 a month I save. Call Robin today. He'll help you out. 412-366-3399. Robin Campbell Insurance. You need auto repair? Call Big Dog Auto, West Mifflin, right by the county airport. Give Big Dog a call, 412-999-0191. Tires, inspection, oil change, basic general mechanical repairs. And guess what? Big Dog will not rip you off. So call the big dog and let him howl. Ow! The big dog.
I may drive down and see Big Dog.
There you go. Go see him. Go in there, see Big Dog Auto. Tell him Ralph Williams sent you. He will take oil change, brakes, state inspection, anything you need there. He will not rip you off at a reasonable price. All right, foldandtravelmobility.com. Call or get a hold of them today. Do you need a folding power wheelchair? Let's say you can't afford a van. All right. Well, guess what? I can do you the next best thing. How about a folding power wheelchair from Fold and Travel Mobility? Look, they have financing. They have specials, all different types of prices, models to choose from. Fold and Travel Mobility. I'm always looking out for my handicapped brethren. 1-877-GOT-FOLD. 1-877-GOT-FOLD. All right, and our final sponsor here for this event, or their first show today, Alex's Flowers. Call Alex today. 30 years in the flower business, weddings, funerals, and for your sweetheart. 412-661-6071. Alex's Flowers. Tell Alex Ralph Williams sent you. All right, now we're going to go down here to our show sponsor for today, Bon Journey. Bon Journey tribute band, Bon Jovi and Journey songs. I'll tell you what, they are the best, Steve, out there, and check out a show anytime you can.
I got to.
Talk to Rob, the bass player. Me and him are buddies. We go back 30 years in the Bloomfield area, but he's the bass player, Rob Shine. Tell him I sent you to the show. Tell him you heard about it here. October 12th, opening act, Kevin Belonzi, 8 p.m. start time. Get there early, get a seat, $15 at the door, $10 in advance tickets. Kendrew's Lounge on Broadhead Road, now Equipa. Check them out on October 12th. All right, Steve. Any final thought? Oh, by the way, Steve, I want your thoughts. I know Pitt played Youngstown State yesterday. I said this. Now, wait a minute. I said this. They needed to dominate this game and show everybody in the ACC that Pitt means business with K. Bell's offense. Now, they're going up against a North Carolina team who just got blown out yesterday, and they're down to their fifth string quarterback. Okay? So, your thoughts, they were off. They have a bye week coming off of this big win against Youngstown State. And every win like this, Steve, I consider a big win. It's a big win, 73-17 yesterday. Cade Bell's offense was on the showing, and it was great. Youngstown State's having trouble with Pittsburgh teams. The week before, they lost to Duquesne, 28-25 at Youngstown State. Duquesne yesterday, they beat West Virginia Wesleyan yesterday, and they're on a 2-game winning streak. Robert Morris also won at Wagner. They're on a 2-game winning streak. So our colleges are doing our universities are doing pretty well here in the Pittsburgh area for stuff. Your thoughts, Steve, on yesterday's game and what Pitt has coming up?
I flash back to when Pitt barely beat Furman a long time ago with Walt Harris.
That game. Yes, I was at that game. game.
And I remember, and give Furman credit, they fought hard. But that was, well, you just go, that's you don't. Well, I'll tell you what, you don't. Furman, that's a game. What I guess the point is, 73-17. That's more like it. That's what you're supposed to do. You bury a team when you have the chance. That's what they've done. Now the real work begins. It's a conference game. Listen, North Carolina is going to be hopping mad. They're going to have an attitude coming into that game. Now they're down to their fifth quarterback. They got 2 weeks to prepare, but Pitt should go in there. If Pitt is going to be a player, you go in there knowing what we know, and you pin North Carolina's ears to the wall, and you blow them out of the game. You get the win, and you put them away. That's what you do, and that's what the top teams do. The top 25 teams are able to do that.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. James Madison actually beat them 70-50. Okay. It looks like no, they play next Saturday. North Carolina. They play at Duke. And guess who Duke's head coach is? Former Miami coach Manny Diaz and former defensive coordinator of Penn State as well. Manny Diaz is their coach at Duke.
Well,
so,
I think Pitt's go in there and take care of your business. And again, same with this. You got a 3-0 start.
Yes.
Good start. Take care of the business. If they're down, you pin them down. And this has been the problem with Pitt. there are times Pitt goes into these games, Ralph. You've seen enough of it where you go, they should win this. And look what happens. You go, what the heck happened?
Here, I got something for you. One of my former media colleagues, whose name I'm not going to mention here because he doesn't have me on his program. So, but he said, and I'm not going to say who it is, over this week, what was the worst loss or one of the worst losses in Pitt history? And I'm going to name you several.
I
Pitt
got some too.
Temple, at Temple.
Yes.
Dan Marino was the quarterback. Okay. The loss to Ohio State 72-0. Of course, that's Ohio State. That was in the 90s. John Cooper was the coach or the head coach. And it was the second time around for Johnny. He came marching home, Johnny Majors. So anyhow, and then another bad loss was the Pitt Ohio U game. The first year Wannstedt took over as head coach. Tyler Pelka was the quarterback there. Tito Sinceri and Paul Christ, his first game against Youngstown State, and they lost at Acrisure Stadium. At the time, it was Heinz Field. Those are four that I can think of off the top of my head, and I think there was a couple more that I might be missing. Your thoughts?
Well, the most painful, agonizing loss in my life was 48-14 Penn State over Pitt. In a game, Pitt was up. Pitt's up 14-0, Ralph, and they're about to go up 21-0. Marino throws the darn interception, and my dad was joking. I thought, watch Penn State score 40 straight points. I go, it ain't going to happen. And at the end of that game, I just could, and that game has still got me to this day. That, and I guess the other painful one, this is odd, it was a tie, the 24-24 tie with Penn State. Wallace had a great, 24-24.
Yeah.
It gave Paterno the I mean, it wasn't painful.
Was at that time. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, man. We were sitting right behind the goalpost. We watched the ball come right through the goalpost. It was 24-all. I said, oh, my gosh. That was a bad
And they gave him the second. They gave him the second to do it. That was a great. Wallace had a great game for Pitt. It was an exciting game. But, that loss to Penn State will never, ever and the one with Carson Long in 75 missed 5 field goal attempts, I believe, against Penn State. That game Pitt should have easily won. So, but you know what? The most painful is when Jackie Sherrill left Pitt because they've never been the same since.
No, they haven't. You're right. You're exactly right. And you know what? That was Pitt being cheap. They didn't want to pay him. That was the first thing. Second thing is he wanted control. He wanted to be athletic director and coach. They wouldn't let him do that. So, that's what happens when you do stuff like that. And ever since Jackie Sherrill left, Pitt hasn't been prominent. I think that if Pitt would have kept Dave Wannstedt and didn't listen to that idiot Steve Peterson, I think that Wannstedt Pitt would have been because he was dedicated to just like Joe Paterno. He would still be the coach here. It would be going on like 14 years that he would be there now. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And we didn't have to go through Paul Christ and that guy from Miami of Ohio that lasted 2 days and
Graham.
No. Oh, Fraud Graham. We had him too. Oh, I mean, the
other guy beat up his girlfriend. The guy they hired for a day. Yeah. Oh man, they have had. Wannstedt wanted to be here too.
What's that?
Wannstedt wanted to be here. He wasn't, and that's the thing. You said it, Ralph. He wanted to be here. He was Pitt football, and and
everything else. And we had the most players that went to the NFL under his tenure. Shady McCoy, Deion Lewis. I can name you a bunch. I mean, And then, as I said before, when I said to Smoke and Jim on Tuesday on our Sports Corner show, I said, plus on top of that, you also had sons of former players going to Pitt because of Dave Wannstedt, and all that stuff. So, that Pitt's made a lot of mistakes. This is the 10th season for Pat Narduzzi. There's no excuse to go 3-9 like you did last year. And now they're 4-0, and we'll see what they do in the ACC. I see this 4-0 start as a positive. All they need now is to win 2 more games, and they're bowl eligible. So,
and they got a shot. They got a shot in the ACC. Look at Florida State. Clemson doesn't look like Clemson.
Mike Norvell-Diner got to be crapping himself, man. Jeez, oh man, they're like 0-3 or something like that. I'm like, oh,
what happened? How do you go? That's like being hit with an ugly stick. I mean, you're gorgeous one moment, and zam, you look like Phyllis Diller. I mean, honestly, not most of your people don't know who she is. I'm sorry.
Put up with that, Steve. He'll be fired because he had a couple bad years when he started, and then he just now started to get that program back up in order. And I don't care what you think, for programs like that, Florida's even gone down. Florida hasn't been relevant since Steve Spurrier was our coach. I mean, look at Florida, you know. I mean, I thought Florida was going to have a game with Miami yesterday. They got blown out. So, I mean,
Urban Meyer left, and that was it. And it's kind of like a Jackie Sherrill thing. Yes. You know, you lose a guy that, you know, and it's I said, well, Jackie Sherrill, look what he did in A&M. I said, yeah, look what he did in A&M. He turned them around. Yeah, he got caught cheating like everybody else did in the old Southwest Conference. Look at the 30 for 30 with SMU. Come on, guys. He was just playing the game.
Off the Bulls' head in the locker room, too. So, you know, but that was something that he was trying to teach to his people. You know, he had his methods like Chuck Noll. Chuck Noll had his methods of teaching with the Steelers. You know, he was a teacher. I mean, you know, Chuck Noll. And, you know, so he wasn't just a coach, he was a teacher. And, you know, and sometimes that's a good thing, you know. So, but we'll see, you know, college football has changed a lot. The chemistry, or everything has. Chemistry, the whole 9 yards in college football has changed. Steve, any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Well, let's get ready for next week. Let's see if they can open it up a little more on the road next week. Indianapolis will be a tough game, but man, so far, I'm optimistic. I'm not over the top, but I like what I saw the second half. Even the worst of the cynics have to say, okay, that's a nice step. We don't know where this goes. I like what I see. Let's hope we have a good post game next week.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see this. What happens next week? Let's say go Dallas against the Ravens, and then tomorrow we got Cincinnati and the Commanders. Of course, I'm rooting for the Commanders. And Cleveland losing today, we could win again this week, and all three teams lose. I mean, you know, but we'll see what goes on. You know, so we'll see if John Harbaugh makes some goofball coaching mistakes and loses his game again this week. You know what I mean? He's been making some bad coaching decisions lately on at game time and all that. So we'll see what Cincy does tomorrow. They've been exposed. So, you know, we'll see what happens there. All right, Steve, thank you for being part of the program. Thank you, everyone, for watching. This has been the post-game show. We'll be back next week. And in 2 weeks, barring me not having anything to do, we're going to have a PITT post-game as well as they play North Carolina in 2 weeks. So we're going to have a PITT post-game. And the Pirates won today with Paul Skeens. They beat the Reds. So whoop-de-doo. I have egg on my face. I said the Pirates were going to be 500 this year, and they're going to be under their win total from last year at 78 games because the Yankees are going to kill them the last 3 games of the season. So we'll see what happens at New York.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. Look forward to it.
They got Milwaukee coming up after this Red Series. So you know what? Well, Milwaukee, they're in the playoffs. So it's you know, it's going to be interesting to see. Yankees.
Funny how they can do it. Funny how a small market team like that can do it, isn't it?
Houston, you know, all them small market teams. Detroit's even doing better than the Pirates, and Detroit was down. You know, so I'm telling you, if Bob Nutting doesn't do something, at least with somebody, either Sheldon's got to go or Charrington's got to go. Somebody's got to go. And I think it's going to be Derek Sheldon. He has to go. And I mean, they should have never gave him that extension last year. You know, he hasn't been good at all. I gave him a break after his first year was COVID. I gave him a break. And then, you know, it was a condensed season. But after that, no, we haven't done well at all. He's made some dumb decisions. And, you know, it's been one thing after another here. And Skeens should be undefeated this year. And Skeens should have more wins because this team has blown it when he's pitched. Keller stunk this year. It's been a bad year for the Pirates, you know. So same old stuff. So, oh, by the way, folks, also I wanted to remind you before we go, sorry about that, there we go. The return of Sports Corner Radio Show with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, and we've added the Hall of Famer Claudio Rosano. Yes, head coach at Carnegie Mellon University baseball team. Also, Claudio's also part of a show called The Boxing Authorities. Great guy with a lot. He has a book out. Oh my gosh, Claudio Rosano is a great addition to our program. Sports Corner Radio Show, 12:50 a.m. Formerly WTAE and ESPN Radio 1250. It's now The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial, 12:50 a.m. Starting Saturday, August 5, 2 to 3 p.m. and every Saturday after that. Join us for the return of Sports Corner Radio. Today, Bill Canada and myself will be on the today for The Way We See It, 7 o'clock start time, 6 p.m. Bible Capsule with me, Ralph Williams. We're going to talk some scriptures of the Bible. We have 3 today we're going to talk about. And then at 7, it's going to be the Way We See It, me, Ralph Williams, and Bill Canada. Bill's going to interview me and talk about why I had to leave the other radio station, what happened there, and everything else. We got a lot to talk about. City of Pittsburgh got egg on their face again, wanting to pay $1 million, taking it from the taxpayers for the NFL draft, and didn't tell nobody about it. Once again, the Gainey administration got egg on their face, and we'll see what happens. We'll talk about that at 7 o'clock tonight. A special, my mom's birthday tomorrow. That's why we're having it tonight, The Way We See It. Me, Ralph Williams, Bill Canada. Steve, thank you for joining me. Say hello to your mom for me. And,
happy birthday, Mom, to your mom. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
God bless.
Have a great one, Steve. Thank you. All right. That was Steve Spates, my co-host for post-game show here. I'm Ralph Williams. You have yourself a great one. Stay tuned. Coming up at 6, the Bible Capsule with me, Ralph Williams, 7 o'clock. Me, Ralph Williams, and Bill Canada, and The Way We See It coming up later on tonight. Busy night for Ralph RW Media Productions. See you later on tonight. Have a good one.